the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't like that.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten Kings TV. That's right, Forgotten Kings TV. Come on, son.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the M-Rack and Rib Show. Rack, what's going on with you, King?
Salute, Rip. I'm good. What's happening?
Listen, man, top of the morning, and your man Jay-Z, he just dropped the interview, okay, with GQ. For those who may not know, it just came out about an hour ago. And listen, we got straight to it because I'm sure everyone is going to see these clips all on their timeline today of Jay-Z opening about, shall I say, breaking his silence on, a lot of things that have come up in regards to his name in the past, the lawsuit with Busby, choosing Kendrick Lamar, right, to headline the Super Bowl last year, his thoughts, on the beef between Kendrick and Drake and how it got out of hand. So listen, we couldn't cover the whole damn interview. We will leave the link in the description. But today we're going to react to Jay-Z and, him speaking on this beef that got out of control between Drake, Kendrick. I'm going to just play the clip and then we're going to give our thoughts afterwards. You know what I mean? I know how the people is. They here for one thing and one thing only. So
Yeah, let's get to the shit.
yeah, let's get to it. Give me 1 second.
Ask you this only as a participant in.
You don't have to give a disclaimer first.
Well, I'm just saying, as someone who was part of probably the genre's biggest rap beef.
Well, until now.
As a spectator, what did you think of the 2024 back and forth between him and Drake?
I'm gonna have an answer you're not gonna like.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna like that. That's presumptuous. I think that, look, there was 4 pillars of hip hop. There are 4 pillars of hip hop, right?
Yep.
There's breakdancing.
Yep.
And it's graffiti.
Yep.
There's DJing and battling.
Yep.
Breakdance is not at the forefront of rap anymore. It's actually an Olympics sport. So that's dead. Graffiti.
Yeah.
Beautiful, in certain places.
Yeah.
And even in major art and Keith Haring
Yeah.
and Basquiat, actually, the street artist,
Yep.
took it to a next level. It's not part of hip hop. DJing. The DJ was in the forefront. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Right. Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
You don't even know the DJ for half of the artists anymore. Who's Drake DJ? I have no idea. Okay.
Couldn't tell you off top.
That no longer exists. And the last pillar is battling. We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing, and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth. Where the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't like that. Maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the thing. But I think we can achieve the same thing as far as sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing. And, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
they're
to
still talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like trying to, you know, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back.
Yeah.
And we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
I hate that I have this point of view. I do, because I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like. I hate it. It's just how I feel about it.
Well, it even kind of extended to you, right? Because people made it a personal thing that you chose Kendrick for the Super Bowl. It's like, oh man, he's choosing the side and he's and he's not.
Like I don't have, what do I have to do with that? I chose the guy that was having a monster year. I think it was the right choice.
Word.
It wasn't in some sort of alliance to a battle. I don't.
Yeah.
What I care about them two guys battling, like, what's that got to do with me?
Word.
Have at it. Have fun. It's almost like not just me, by the way. They drag everybody in it. Like everyone's part of this conspiracy to undermine Drake, I guess. But like, what the fuck? Like what? I'm fucking Jay-Z. or due respect to him. I'm fucking Hov. Do respectfully.
Word.
Like for what? To what end?
Yeah.
It couldn't be like these guys just don't like each other.
Yeah.
And I think they haven't liked each other for a long time.
Before you had anything to do with it.
For a while.
Yeah.
I think this has been brewing, just like me and Nas was brewing.
Yeah.
It didn't happen at the Summer Jam. That happened. The Lex and TV sets, the minimum, whatever. It was a whole bunch of stuff leading up to that point.
Mint Fleek, what is the Mint Fleek slugs in your hat, right?
It was slugs in your hat. It was a bunch of like little things that led up to that point. And then when it happened, I actually regret that because I really like Nas. He's a really nice guy.
But also to your point, like I remember I was like 10 or 11 when that happened. I was like,
pick a side.
Well, I was on your side.
Yeah, I got clearly.
But my position was I can't go out and buy Stillmatic or ask my parents to buy Stillmatic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna borrow it and burn it because I can't deny one mic, you know?
Like I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But I ain't supporting them.
Word.
Yeah.
King. King, you there?
Yeah, Jay-Z can't be serious, King. You can't. You're trolling at this point. Like, you know, and I get it. That's where everybody is at. Everybody's trolling. Everybody's campaigning one thing or another. And what he just did in this interview, this is beyond manipulation. And man, I could go in, but King, you know what? Address it. And I'm a piggyback because I got some things I want to say. I'm gonna go dark though. What's your thoughts?
I mean, listen, Jay-Z, the first thing that stuck out to me, and this is some of the pictures from the interview with GQ. I'm just putting that up there for y'all to check it out. Because like I said, as you can see, this is a whole rollout, man. And you know, he had to address this, right? There used to be a time when you would have the right people in the room to ask you those filler questions.
Right.
But you know, we're in a different age, man. And social media and the narrative really matters. And for Jay-Z to come outside, it's damn near impossible for him to have these interviews and not address the elephant in the room, right? So part of me is like, okay, this is an older Jay-Z, okay? This is a Jay-Z I never thought I'd see at 35 years old. Somebody would have told me when I was a young kid that Jay would eventually have dreads and, you know, evolve in such a way. I call him crazy, seeing what I seen back then. But listening to some of the things he's saying, it's like, yo, you do understand that the beef between you and Nas, some would argue, set the tone for something like this for generations down the line.
That's a fact.
Right? And although, you know, this is battle, right? Or this is something that happens within hip hop, there's a winner, there's a loser. Right? Jay-Z's been in a few battles, you know what I mean? But you didn't have to give Kendrick the stage. I mean, I guess, you know, you give an artist their own creative license to do what they feel, but think about it. You know, you could have been like, yo, we're not going to do Not Like Us. That was an option if you had taken this new approach, but that's the part where it's like, I don't know. I don't know if you really believe that, ho. Come on.
Full of shit, man.
Right. People gonna look at you kind of crazy. Like, wait a minute. You know, you did have a say in who performs at the halftime show. So if you felt like that, you know, by then, everybody was anticipating this performance from Kendrick because the question was what, right? Was he gonna perform the song?
That's a fact.
It's ample enough time to be like, you know what? It's not just about us because you got the world tuning in to one of the biggest moments of the year. Let's, you know, I understand we want to see the battle, but let's just move that song out the way. Hell no. Kendrick went in. and you know what I mean? All the bells and whistles. So it's like, I don't know if I necessarily believe that he believes that, you know, battling shouldn't be necessary in the rap game moving forward. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, King?
Man, I look at this shit in many ways to whereas certain people, they get in position and they want to rewrite history. You understand? And for somebody to been in one of the biggest battles in hip hop, like the Jay-Z versus Nas, and you was the aggressor in making it blatant, okay? And you want to mention, oh, it didn't happen at Summer Jam. You try to throw Nas under the bus, mentioning, I believe, you know, one of the records off, it was written when Nas was actually, you know, I guess it was subliminals towards him, right? Because remember, he came out with the GS 300 Lex in, you know, on the Reasonable Doubt album. I believe Dead Presidents. Okay, was the video.
Yeah, I pulled up the history, as you can see here on the screen. They kind of give you a timeline since '96. You know, where the possible, you know, start or reason for this beef happened. You know what I'm saying? Always early as '96. You know what I mean? Asking for a feature, which led to him sampling Nas's voice. Seems minor, but if you wanted to compare, you know, I don't know if.
All right, stop there, King. We not going to chat GPT this. You know, you got MREC.
Listen, yeah. I'm only saying this for the record because, yo, it's 2026. I can't sit here and tell
I got you, King.
When I was 6 years old, I'm not going to sit here in front like some of these other cats.
No, I got you. I'm here. That's why I'm here. I got you, King, because we ain't going to allow
chat GPT.
We ain't going to allow nobody to rewrite history, and we know that chat GPT and, you know, Google and everything can be manipulated, okay?
Just public information.
Okay, so let's go there. I'm glad that you did, you know, because it got some truth to it, okay? So essentially how the beef started is Jay-Z is a fan of Nas, okay? Always been, okay? That's why Nas said what he said. You've been on my dick. You love my style and ether, because he's referring to, you've been trying to get me on a record, you know, since day one. Like even when he did records with Foxy, he mentioned the firm. You know what I mean? Kind of alluding like, yo, I'm here, dog. You know what I'm saying? I want to be down. How can I be down? right? So Nas, I guess, agreed to do a feature, so they say, right? Rumor has it, legend has it. It was a session booked, and Nas never showed up. Jay-Z booked a session for Nas to come in for the feature. Nas didn't show up, right? Rumor has it, or legend has it, right? And I think that's where everything started to go left, because obviously homie was in his feelings. Now look, the same, and I think this is why Nas threw shots at him, because if you look at the video of Dead Presidents, you'll see everybody playing Monopoly with real money. It was, guess who was there that's real close to Nas in that video? Of course, you had Dame Dash there. You had, everybody that was a part of Rockefeller. But AZ was sitting at the table. You know what I mean? It's somebody else too, but I'm just saying AZ was sitting at the table. So you was playing chess with Nas back then. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you was trying to manipulate, throwing shots at him by having AZ in your video, but also you threw shots at Tupac also in the Dead President's video. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it was Biggie, Jay-Z, and AZ. And Dame Dash, they was all playing Monopoly with real money. And when Biggie rolled the dice, he said, "Who shot you?" And everybody laughed. You know what I'm saying? So this beef been brewing, and it started from him because it was an obsession with Nas. Nas didn't show up for the feature. Then you do the Dead President's video. Okay, you throwing shots at Tupac and you throwing shots at Nas because you got his man in the video, the only person that's on Illmatic. Nas didn't have no features. That's the only feature. And Nas mentioned this in records, and AZ mentioned this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
then, let's just say multiple freestyles come out. Okay, and album songs, you hear the subliminals and all that, right? Fast forward, Summer Jam. You diss Prodigy. You was a ballerina. We got the pictures. I seen you. Right? And then ask Nas, he don't want it with Hove. And that's when everything got spooky, because you dropped Takeover, right? That's the first time you was letting it be known, like, yo, look, me and Dog been throwing shots back and forth. It's up right now. It's direct. And and then you try to crush him. You did it on the Summer Jam stage, and you brought Michael Jackson out. Okay? This Prodigy said, that means you dissed the whole Queen, so to speak, and the whole Queensbridge. You let it be known. You almost started like a Brooklyn Queens war. But don't forget the Hot 97 freestyle where you had the whole state property going at Nas and his team. And then Nas said he called you and asked you, like, yo, dog, you up there really getting at me and my niggas? And Jay-Z said, nah, this ain't about that. Nah, they just rapping. This ain't. So.
That's why I said, the history is public, and now that Jay-Z and Nas has a new relationship, right, to the public, people still believe that Jay-Z, they both admit that they still compete with each other as MCs, right? Because that's a part of the game. That's the nature, right? So that's why I'm listening to Jay-Z. And let me ask you this, is Hove allowed to have this new evolved way of thinking, or do you think he just trolling people right now?
I think we all allowed to have growth as human beings. But when it comes to hip hop, we can't rewrite what comes with this game. You know what I'm saying? Like battling. All right. Now battling is battling. Ain't no rules in that. I think that's where everything went wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's why Drake is looking crazy the way he's looking, because this what comes with it. You understand what I'm saying?
And this is why I said there was an opportunity in which Jay-Z could have inserted himself and say, yo, take it from me. Take it from the battle that we had with Nas. You know what I'm saying? And how it ended. I guess, you know, that's the part that kind of doesn't sit well with me when Jay says this, because it's like, yo, if that was the case, he would have never did Not Like Us at the Super Bowl.
Or he would have stepped in early.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, Kendrick, he kind of gloated knowing that he was doing this on the biggest stage. And again, like you said, it's no rules in battle. My thing is, why is people treating Drake like a victim? That I don't like. Right?
Listen, he was the aggressor. He was the aggressor.
Right.
He got spanked.
Come on. I don't, now maybe because you're older than me, but was there ever a time after Ether where Jay-Z was treated like the victim?
I mean, no. Because you got to always remember, he thought he won when he put Nas in Prodigy. Well, he put Prodigy on the Summer Jam screen, but he was on the big stage dissing Nas as well with Michael Jackson. And then he had Hot 97, because they did this thing called the Battle of the Beasts, right? Or the Battle of the Beats, you know, whatever. You get the hint.
Right.
And they compared, it was Ether versus Super Ugly, because he tried to double down now. You gotta think, he dropped Takeover. It had that Summer Jam wave, because Summer Jam was one of the biggest, you know, events ever. Like, that was iconic to be on that Summer Jam stage, and then to be dissing one of the kings of New York at that time.
Yeah.
With Michael Jackson on the stage? Come on, man. Like, he was trying to take Nas out of here, because Nas at that time, I think his mother was sick. So he was, you know, spending time taking care of his moms. So he was trying to sneak attack and take him out while his head wasn't in the game. Pause.
Listen.
Then when that Ether,
right,
it got dark. It got spooky at Rockefeller. Even Dame Dash and Memphis Bleak let it be known that, oh, nah, that shit fucked him up.
That's what I'm saying. You know, your moms get involved and get you to end the battle with Nas, and that's the end of that. Like I said, it's interesting because, you know, for the longest time, Drake has always been, you know, letting it be known publicly, stating that Jay is his favorite, his GOAT, Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And I always think that there's this competition between Drake and Jay-Z. In this situation here, he definitely playing both sides of the fence.
Definitely.
Right? And I just, you know, I want to talk about the J. Cole and Cameron interview that's coming out, if not today, tomorrow, because they put out, you know, a snippet, you know, the history between J. Cole, Jay-Z, you know, all of these names, all of these artists.
Cameron had beef with Jay-Z at one time.
But he spoke about, you know, how messy the battle got. And I keep hearing this narrative echoed by so many as if Drake is the victim. And I'm confused because Kendrick doesn't have social media. He doesn't do interviews, you know. He dropped music and then he disappeared.
He out the way.
Yes. You know what I mean? Now, of course, we know there's a relationship between Kendrick and Jay-Z, right? Kendrick was able to get a verse from Hove. You know what I mean? Something that, you know, every artist would want on to come up in their career. Come on.
And I'm going to say this respectfully, and I said this publicly before. Kendrick smoked Jay-Z on that record, too.
I think it was the Don't Kill My Vibe
remix.
Yeah.
This is a fact. His tone was right. He went in. Like I said, when a nigga on it, he on it. I'm a salute. You know what I mean?
Both artists, you know, imagine how they felt having a Jay-Z verse. Right? Drake working with him. Hell, even J. Cole. You know what I mean? All of these artists right now, people argue that they are the top 3 in the rap game. And ever since the beef happened and people champion Kendrick as the king of all of this, things look much differently now. And Jay-Z and what he says, people, you know what I mean, they listen when Jay-Z speaks. So when I hear this, I'm like, yo, you playing both sides.
Of course he is.
You know what I mean?
Because those folks that he in business with, they don't like the fact that Drake is not the same Drake, okay? Because it was a lot of business that was tied to, you know, an artist like Drake that got compromised, let's just say, you know? And so he's trying to speak from the corporate side of things, but also trying to, you know, walk that thin line of, yeah, you know, I'm from the culture, but yo, we got to grow up. Yeah, I understand battling, but you know what? Let's take battling out, because that's pretty much what I took from it, you know, kind of like digesting the whole thing. Is like he want battle rap to be, you know, off the table if he had it his way. But nobody's bigger than the program. I just want you to know that, Jay-Z. This M-Rec talking. About time me and you had to talk. You've been doing a lot of manipulation. No, you a master manipulator, but it's time that you talk to a real one. You should have sat down with a real one and did a real interview.
Salute world, I need y'all to do me a favor right now and check out the homie Hotep's latest single, Love for Fashion. All right, available on all streaming platforms. I'm about to bless y'all with a teaser from the video. If you like what you hear, make sure to hit the link in the description. Head on over to his YouTube channel, subscribe, like the video, and make sure to tell him Rip sent you. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, with a real quick. Rick on sneakers with the real shirt. Oversized slacks, so the jeans shorts. Matter of fact, I'm Mary's go right with the fit. Got a clear pepper, these Cartier frames got tints.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all. Peace.